Big changes are on the horizon, and October 15th is the date everyone's watching. For millions of Americans who rely on Social Security, SSI, SSDI, VA benefits, or even stimulus updates, this isn't just another headline. It's the kind of information that can directly affect your monthly budget, your sense of security, and the way you plan your life. That's why staying informed right now is more important than ever. Let's cut through the noise and talk about what's really happening. Social Security has been a backbone for retirees, people with disabilities, and surviving family members for decades. But as the cost of living shifts, as government policies adjust, and as new proposals move through Washington, changes to Social Security payments become a reality that everyone has to prepare for. This October 15th update is not just about a date, it's about what that date means for your wallet. Will your payment arrive earlier, later, or in a new amount? Will cost of living adjustments kick in soon? Will Medicare premiums take a bigger bite out of your check? These are the questions people are asking, and in this video, we are giving you the straight answers you deserve. Now here's the truth. These benefits are more than numbers on a screen. They're the money that keeps your refrigerator stocked, your lights on, your prescriptions filled, and your peace of mind intact. And when the system makes changes, whether it's to the schedule, the payment method, or the amount, you need to know in advance so you can adapt without stress. The good news is that the information is out there, and we're going to walk through it step by step, cutting out the confusion so you know exactly where you stand. So if you've been worried about rumors, overwhelmed by conflicting reports, or just tired of wondering what's really true, stay right here. October 15th is coming fast, and in the next few minutes, we'll make sure you have the clarity you need to face it with confidence. Now let's break down exactly what October 15th means and why this date has gained so much attention. For many beneficiaries, Social Security checks follow a predictable pattern. Payments are staggered throughout the month based on birthdays and eligibility categories. But when changes are announced, especially when they cluster around the middle of the month, people understandably begin to ask questions. October 15th has been highlighted because it sits right in the heart of the payment cycle, and this year, it also coincides with important updates being shared by the Social Security Administration, which makes it more than just another Wednesday on the calendar. Seniors, veterans, disability recipients, and even families watching for stimulus news all have a reason to pay attention, because the updates on and around this date can ripple through bank accounts across the country. To really understand what's happening, it's helpful to remember why these schedules matter. Social Security isn't just about providing support after retirement. It's a lifeline for millions of Americans who have worked hard, paid into the system, and now depend on it to cover the basics of daily living. That's equally true for people receiving SSI due to limited income, those on SSDI because of disability, and veterans who've earned their VA benefits through service. When there's talk of changes, even small adjustments in timing or amounts, it can feel unsettling. Imagine planning out your month, expecting a check on one date, only to find that it's been shifted or reduced. That's why October 15th is such a big focus. It's a point where clarity replaces speculation, and people can finally start planning with certainty. Now, in October 2025, there are a few layers to the discussion. First, there's the matter of scheduling itself. If your birthday falls between the 11th and the 20th of any month, then you already know your Social Security payment typically comes on the third Wednesday. In October, that's the 15th. That means a significant portion of retirees and disability recipients are already set to receive their payment on this date. But this year, the date carries extra weight because officials are also expected to confirm updates about cost of living adjustments, or COLA, which will take effect in January. This dual significance, both as a payment day and as a policy announcement period, makes October 15th more than just another routine deposit. Another important aspect is how supplemental security income plays into the picture. SSI payments are usually made on the first day of each month, unless that falls on a weekend or holiday, in which case they arrive earlier. But October is also a month where people start planning ahead for the end of the year, and SSI recipients are among the most sensitive to shifts in benefit structures because their margins are so tight. For them, news that emerges in mid-October about upcoming changes or adjustments can help shape decisions for the rest of the year. If you're living on SSI, every dollar counts, And knowing whether your benefit is going to rise, stay flat, or be offset by something like a Medicare premium increase makes a huge difference in how you plan your spending. The conversation wouldn't be complete without talking about SSDI. For disability recipients, the same payment structure applies, but the stakes are often even higher. People on SSDI may be managing not just everyday expenses, but also medical costs, accessibility needs, and specialized living arrangements. When October 15th rolls around, and both a payment and news about future benefits are expected, it's not just a number in a bank account, it's peace of mind. Having that clarity helps families know whether they'll be able to keep up with bills, afford transportation, and maintain their health without unnecessary anxiety. And then, of course, there are our veterans. VA benefits operate on their own schedule, but any nationwide conversation about Social Security, SSI, or SSDI often overlaps with discussions about how veterans' benefits fit into the broader safety net. Around mid-October, when Social Security makes headlines, veterans and their families also pay attention, because shifts in one system often spark rumors or questions about the other. It's common for people to ask whether changes in Social Security will affect VA checks, and while the programs are separate, the timing of updates sometimes creates confusion. This is why accurate information is so critical. People need to know what applies to them, and what doesn't, so they can avoid unnecessary stress. Now, let's address the topic that's on many people's minds: stimulus. While stimulus checks are not a regular feature of Social Security or VA benefits, they often come into the conversation when economic conditions are uncertain. In the past, stimulus payments were distributed in coordination with Social Security and VA systems, meaning the same infrastructure that delivers monthly benefits was used to get one-time checks into people's accounts. Whenever dates like October 15th draw attention, speculation tends to rise about whether additional relief is on the way. And even if nothing is officially announced, seniors and disability recipients still want to know how stimulus discussions in Congress might eventually tie into their existing benefits. One of the reasons these conversations feel so pressing is that the cost of living has continued to weigh heavily on households. Groceries, housing, medical costs, and utilities have all edged upward. And while Social Security adjustments help, they don't always keep pace with real-world expenses. When October 15th brings updates, people listen carefully because they want to know if the government recognizes the gap between inflation and benefits, and if relief is on the horizon. This is especially important for seniors who may not have additional income sources like pensions or savings to fall back on. For them, Social Security isn't supplemental, it's essential. The mechanics of October 15th are straightforward, but the meaning behind it is what gives it so much weight. On one level, it's just another payment day for those with birthdays between the 11th and 20th. On another, it's a date tied to announcements that shape the financial landscape for months or even years to come. And for everyday people, it's a moment when speculation turns into answers. Instead of wondering whether payments will shift, whether COLA will make a difference, or whether stimulus is on the table, you get concrete information you can use to plan. That's why this day is worth highlighting, and why so many people across the country are watching it closely. But let's take a step back and think about what this really means for daily life. Imagine sitting at the kitchen table, balancing your checkbook, or reviewing your bank app. You've got your rent or mortgage due soon, maybe a prescription refill around the corner, and a couple of bills stacked on the counter. If you know your check is coming on October 15th, you can plan with certainty. You know when to schedule that payment, when to cover that expense, and when you'll have the peace of mind of a replenished balance. Without that certainty, stress creeps in. That's why dates like October 15th are about more than numbers. They're about dignity, stability, and control over your own life. Technology also plays a big role in this conversation. With the majority of Social Security beneficiaries now using direct deposit, payments are more reliable than ever. October 15th won't mean waiting by the mailbox or worrying about a lost check. It will mean waking up, logging into your bank account, and seeing the funds right where they're supposed to be. Direct deposit has removed a lot of uncertainty, but it has also made people more vigilant. If the money isn't there by the expected date, alarms go off. This is why clarity around dates is so important. It sets the standard by which people measure whether everything is functioning correctly. Of course, no discussion would be complete without addressing scams. Unfortunately, fraudsters know that payment dates create heightened attention, and they try to exploit that. Around mid-month, it's not unusual for seniors to get phone calls or emails pretending to be from Social Security, claiming there's a problem with their check. The truth is that the SSA will never call you out of the blue demanding personal information or threatening to withhold your benefits. By knowing your exact payment date, you're better equipped to spot these scams and shut them down before they cause harm. October 15th should be a day of reassurance, not anxiety, and staying informed is the best defense. As October 15th approaches, it's also a great time to check in with your My Social Security account online. This portal gives you the tools to double-check your payment schedule, confirm your direct deposit information, and review your overall benefit statement. Logging in before your payment date ensures there are no surprises and helps you catch any potential issues early. It's a simple step that can make a big difference, especially in a month where updates are coming down and attention is heightened. So when we talk about October 15th, we are really talking about much more than a date on the calendar. We are talking about the intersection of policy, planning, and peace of mind. We are talking about millions of Americans, from retirees to veterans to disability recipients, who rely on this system every single month. And we are talking about the importance of accurate, timely information that allows people to take control of their lives. Whether it's understanding the payment schedule, anticipating cost of living adjustments, or simply avoiding the stress of uncertainty, October 15th represents a touchstone moment for Social Security beneficiaries. By the time this date passes, rumors will be replaced by facts, speculation will give way to clarity, and households across the nation will be able to breathe a little easier knowing exactly where they stand. That's the real value of this moment. It's not just about dollars, it's about the sense of stability those dollars bring. And in a world where so much feels unpredictable, that kind of stability is priceless.